I'd like to demonstrate for you how you would take a test that you've made in ExamView Pro and use it on Schoology. So the first thing you want to do is create your test like you normally would. After you've made it and saved it, you go up to the File menu and you choose Export. And you want to export it in the style of Blackboard 7.1 plus. Then you need to save it, and it's going to save it as a zip file. So give it a name. I recommend not using any spaces in your name. Okay, in this section, you want to give your test that you're exporting another name, and I always use the exact same name for all of these things. And then for the directory name, I'm going to give it the same name. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I've never done it any other way, and it's always worked. Okay, so now you've saved it. Now you need to go to Schoology. You want to log in and go to your course, and then create a test. Notice that you don't have to give it the exact same name that you gave it before. Give it a due date if you prefer. It's very important to give it a category. If you leave it as ungraded, then it will not show up in the gradebook and it will not be graded. Okay, so now I've created the test. Now I need to import those test questions that I had before. So I'm going to do that by clicking Add a Question and Import Test Quiz. And then I exported it earlier as a Blackboard file, so I'm going to choose that. I need to go find the file, which is on my computer. And then click Import. So here it is. This is the test that I originally made in ExamView Pro, and I exported it as a Blackboard file, and then went to Schoology, created a new test, and imported the test as a Blackboard test, and these are the questions. So one thing you need to know is that the multiple response questions, if you use those, don't work correctly. So if you use the multiple response question, you need to go back and choose the correct answers again because they won't be correct. And they also show up in Schoology as a multiple choice question. So this question right here, number 27, was originally one of my multiple response questions. So I'm going to edit it. And the correct answers are this one, not this one, and this one. And it seems to just randomly choose which answers it thinks are correct. The other thing is that matching questions are handled a little differently in Schoology. So you'll need to go back and fix any of your matching questions. This particular quiz didn't have a matching question, so I can't show that to you. But if you do have a matching question, make sure you go back and look at it. So now you want to go back to your settings and make sure that the test settings in Schoology are correct. In this section, you can create instructions that would show up on each page, and you can change the availability. I recommend that you choose Hide Now until you actually want the test to show up, because otherwise your students can see it. One really important one is this one. In paging, you really want to choose one question per page. Um, I can't think of a really good reason why you wouldn't want to choose that, but if you don't do that, it's very difficult later for the student to go back and look at their questions. So you want to choose one question per page. And then for question review, you really want to choose yes, so that the student, when they're finished, but before they submit their quiz, can go back and look at the questions and make sure that they select all the correct answers. For resumable, usually this would be no, um, but you actually want to choose yes, because if there is something that happens during the test, for example, if it fails to load one of the questions, If you don't have resumable selected, they'll have to start the test over, and you will have to go back and allow them to take the test more than one time. So I strongly recommend you choose resumable so that if some sort of mistake does happen, they can go back and finish the test. Resumable does not mean that they can take the test as many times as they'd like from a certain question. They only ever have the one chance to take it, but resumable allows you some flexibility. For view submissions, I usually choose yes so that they can see what they put after they submit the test. It will also show them if they got the answer correct or not. It will not show them the correct answer unless you choose this. Yes with correct answers is a great choice if you're using it for a review test. So you want to choose what you want and then click on Save Changes, and you're done.